Welcome. I'm Kristen Stahauer, Academic Vice President and Provost at Northwood University. Thanks for joining us in a second of a monthly series of news from Northwood, or as we like to call it, Midlands University. And I'm joined by several guests today, and I'm looking forward to helping you get to know them better. We have Justin Marshall, Vice President of Advancement and Business Development. We also have Julia Damchek, Executive Director of Alumni Relations, and one of our students, Riley Hayer, who hails from Clare, Michigan. Thanks to all of you for joining us, and later we'll be joined by President Kent McDonald and for a fun Q&A. In our lineup today, we'll be hearing about the Business Professionals of America, our success at the national competition, and also, as I mentioned, a Q&A with President McDonald. But first, we're going to start with information about our Mall Walk Improvement Project, and it's an exciting transformation of Midland's campus, Northwood University campus, and certainly some really wonderful features too in terms of flood mitigation. And Justin, for those who aren't familiar with it, could you tell us a little bit more about this project?
Absolutely. It is an amazing project, and I'll just start out with saying I hope that any of the viewers feel welcome to come to campus, walk through the Mall Walk, experience it for themselves, because I think it's something you have to put your eyes on to truly appreciate, and walk through it to just truly understand the value and the scope of the project. But it's an aesthetic enhancement to campus, absolutely, but it's also a practical response to the flooding that we experienced in May of 2020, the flooding that everyone experienced in Midland County. And when that 30 billion gallons of water came through campus, it created $17 million worth of damage. And unfortunately, that's not the first 100-year flood that we've had, certainly the first 500-year flood that we've had in the past 10 years. So we know that flooding has been an issue for us in the past, and we wanted to come up with a way that could help us protect what we're calling the heart of campus. And that really is our critical academic facilities, Eldon B. Dow facilities, Jordan Hall, Strosacker, Griswold Communication Center. And this is an underground engineering project that, imagine this, has a 500,000 gallon retention system that allows it to hold water if there is ever any sort of flooding issue until it can be safely released. And it also protects us year-round from any sort of groundwater intrusion event. It's truly spectacular. And with it comes all of these beautiful amenities that you see above ground. And we have a new Four Seasons space that I think people are going to be really excited about. There are new trails, and embedded in these trails are quotes from famous leaders and historic figures that inspire our students, and we hope inspire our community, and help them learn a little bit about who Northwood is and what the Northwood idea means to us. And it's a project, here's what I'm most proud of: no public funding involved in this project. This was a project funded very generously by 3 local foundations, the Herbert H. and Grace A. Dow Foundation, the Roland Gerstacker Foundation, and the Charles Strosacker Foundation, and more than 250 individuals, alumni, community members, and friends of the university. So it's a special project.
It sure is, and it certainly exemplifies what many of us love most about Midland, is how we band together. And so thank you for sharing that information. We have a special treat for our viewers with some video footage of our May 25th ribbon cutting ceremony.
And there you have it, What a beautiful video that really gives you an idea. But again, we want our viewers to come and visit us on Northwood University's campus and see this for themselves. And this space, if you can just think about it, can be used for many different community projects. Weddings, high school graduations, family reunions, special dinners or community events. This is a place that we truly want our students to use, and we want the community to use. We want it to bring together the campus and the community. We want to let everyone know that the drawbridge is down. Come to campus, come visit, come enjoy our beautiful campus in the woods and learn more about America's Free Enterprise University. And to do that, you can go to connect.northwood.edu/mall walk improvement.
Well, thanks again, Justin, and we are so excited about the transformation of the heart of our campus and also, in many ways, the heart of our community.
Thank you.
And now we're going to turn our attention to some success that our students have had, and we have with us Executive Director of Alumni Relations, Julia Damchek, to share with us about the Business Professionals of America.
Thank you, Kristen. As the advisor for Business Professionals of America at Northwood University, I am super excited to share that our team attended the national competition in Dallas, Texas last month and did an amazing job and brought home many awards. For those that are unaware, the Northwood University Business Professionals of America group, we empower and student leaders to find their passion and develop them, and we offer them opportunities for professional development, learning, service, and of course competition. There are 45,000 members, BPA members across the United States, and I think there were around maybe 584 from the state of Michigan who attended nationals, 7 of those being from Northwood, and our students brought home first, second, and third place prizes along with some top 10 finishes, and we're just super proud of them, and today we've got one of our students here with us.
Well, welcome again, Riley Hayer from Clare, Michigan, and we are so pleased to hear the success the team had, and congratulations to you on your personal success as well at the BPA Nationals. Could you tell us what it was like to be at a national competition?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for congratulating me, by the way. So 7 of us went. We had probably most of our chapter qualify for nationals, but a lot of them couldn't go because they're seniors and they were graduating. Right, so 7 of us went, one of which was a senior, which was sweet to have her with us. She left a little bit early to make her graduation, and we went and got set up in this beautiful hotel, and we represented Northwood in the best way we could.
That is exciting. And what events did you compete in personally?
Personally, I took 2nd in advanced interview skills, 3rd along with Anna Marie Gonzalez and Mario Hansen. We took 3rd in financial analyst team. And then I took top 10 in banking and finance.
Wow. And what are you doing this summer, Riley?
Right now, I'm working for a company called Common Sale Investment Group, where I'm a data analyst.
All right. And it sounds like from our prior conversations that you just love that kind of work.
I do. I love spreadsheets. Excel is my favorite.
Not all of us can say that, Riley. We're glad there are people like you out there. Yeah, well, and our mission at Northwood is that we develop free enterprise leaders who drive economic and social progress, and you're already doing that. You're such an inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, before we continue the program, we're going to take a brief break for a message from Northwood University, and then we're going to do a Q&A with President Kent McDonald.
We've never met, but we know you. You've got big plans for your career and your life.
Yes, I love it.
You're the overachiever, the go-getter with the entrepreneurial spirit.
This is such a cool idea. We could definitely.
You're also guided by this inner compass, your true north. Yeah, we know you. And maybe it's time for you to know us.
Welcome back. We are so pleased to be joined by President Kent McDonald, President of Northwood University. Thanks for joining us, Kent.
Great to be here. How are you?
Fantastic. We'll have a fun Q&A of questions that have been compiled by our faculty and staff for you.
Okay.
But first, I'd like to share some information on Dr. McDonald's background for those of you who may not have had a chance to meet him yet or to get to know him. He is Northwood's 6th president and joined us in August of 2019 and is a respected higher education leader with decades of higher education leadership experience. He joined us from St. Francis Xavier University, where he was president since 2014, and has focused his scholarly work on what makes great universities great. And we're thankful that he is focusing that expertise and attention on leading Northwood University to even better performance and greatness. And he is married to Mary Ellen McPhee, and they met over 30 years ago as undergraduate students in Nova Scotia. They have 4 children, Adam, Matthew, Megan, and Patrick, 3 of whom who have been or will be Northwood University students. So you definitely believe in the product, President McDonald. And he has traveled the world in his pursuit, as I mentioned before, of what makes great universities great. So thank you for joining us today, Kent. And we're going to have some fun Q&A and a little conversation about Northwood University.
That's great.
These are questions that were compiled from faculty and staff.
Okay, I hope they're kind.
Yeah, so let's start off with
Sure.
a fun one. What's your go-to breakfast?
Well, I'm not much of a breakfast eater, so for this morning I had a chai tea and almond milk. If I have to eat, I'll maybe a slice of toast and peanut butter.
Okay.
But not a lot.
All
not a
right.
lot.
You keep it light. Well, staying with diet, but maybe a different kind of diet. What's your media diet?
So every day I begin by reading the news, and so I have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. Try to read the opinion pages there. We have a little place in Florida, so I read the news down there. It's fairly apolitical, boring community events. And then Detroit news. Here in Midland, of course, I read the Midland Daily News. It keeps you up to date on all the things going on around this amazing city. And then for apps, I'll scroll through and try to balance myself in terms of Fox, CNN, and a more worldly outlook on BBC. So just trying to get a variety of different perspectives on things and trying to keep ahead of what's going on around the world.
Are there Canadian news sources that you like to follow as well?
Mostly the sports, perhaps hockey and things like that. But
Favorite team?
In hockey, has to be the Ottawa Senators. Mary Ellen and I live there. Our 4 children were born in Ottawa, and one day they'll win the Stanley Cup. Yeah.
So what's your favorite color?
Well, when I came to Michigan, I didn't know what this question meant, and people would say, blue or green? And of course, Northwood is blue, so I said, I guess it has to be blue. I've come to realize that question was a loaded
sharing
question.
Another affiliation.
That's right. So blue has to be my favorite color. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book?
Great question. Like you, I like to read a lot. I don't read a lot on tablets. I'm still one of the old-fashioned readers. When Mary Ellen goes shopping, she knows to place me in a bookstore, and I could stay there for hours. So there was a book written over a decade ago that I've recommended to many people. 2 researchers, one out of MIT, one out of Chicago. His name is Acemoglu, and the other one was Robinson. They wrote a book called Why Nations Fail. And I think it's a fascinating read. On the surface, it tells a story of why some countries are more prosperous than others. But when you go a little bit deeper, there's actually interesting leadership questions in there, organizational principles, a little bit of politics, government policy. And what's interesting is I fell in love with that book well before I came to Northwood. But in hindsight, a lot of the things those 2 authors uncovered over their, I think, 13 years of research really align to what we believe in at Northwood. The importance of free enterprise, the importance of limited government. You know, when you start centralizing things and making decisions from the center, most often things don't work out as well. So that would probably be one of my favorites. I have to give you one other one, and you know it well. Every year, our students that come onto campuses, incredible young minds wanting to make a difference. And as you know, we give them a book called When We Are Free. And that book is in its 6th edition. Thousands and thousands of Northwood students have read it, and it's a compilation of incredible stories about the importance of free enterprise, personal responsibility in our lives, all the things we refer to as the Northwood idea. So on a leadership, public policy, it has to be Why Nations Fail, and more of a personal level, our own publication, When We Are Free, is one of the very top.
I certainly agree.
Yeah.
Shifting over to fiction, if you were able to meet a fictional character, who would that be?
Oh, gosh. That's a great question. I don't know. I don't read a lot of fiction. So I would say, I would cheat on this question. People who maybe represent historical figures I'm interested in. And one of the things that I have done, you mentioned Nova Scotia. So I was born in Nova Scotia, Canadian by birth, permanent resident proudly now of this incredible republic. And I thought it was important for me to understand a lot of the history of the country. So I started researching what were the best books on every U.S. president. And so I started at Washington and made my way through people I had never heard of.
That's something a lot of Americans haven't done.
Yeah, maybe so. And but it's a unique, I think, and powerful way to understand the country and its history. And that history really informs perhaps how we view things and how things are happening today. So a team of rivals, you know, about Abraham Lincoln, and I thought was a powerful read, and he's probably the president, at least at this moment, as I work my way through them, has had the biggest impact on me. So not fictional, of course, but someone who has left indelible imprint on the history of the country at a most difficult time. And you know, we think we're going through difficult times now, but reading those history books over the last few years, it tells me and reminds me that the country's been here before, and we're going to work our way out of any challenges that we have.
Certainly is an inspiration. Was there a president maybe whom you didn't know much about that you learned about through reading about different biographies?
Well, I didn't know. I always became confused about, of course, now President Biden being the 46th president, but there were only 45 presidents, and so I didn't know about Grover Cleveland and his term in office, and then leaving office and coming back. And of course, you know, if President Trump does run again, he'll have the opportunity to maybe be the second one of those people. So I didn't know that part of the history. I heard, of course, Washington. I'm a graduate of University of Pennsylvania, which was started by Benjamin Franklin. So I read a lot years ago about Benjamin Franklin. So seeing his name and the history at that moment of the country, and took incredible vision and leadership. And so learned more about Washington, but maybe Grover Cleveland, but people like Taylor I'd not heard about before, and it's an incredible history when you read it in that way.
Definitely puts things in
It
perspective.
does. It really does. Yeah.
We had some questions submitted by faculty and staff
Okay.
that are a little more lighthearted.
Okay,
So
great.
dogs or cats?
Dogs or cats? Well, we've had 3 cats in my life, and you know, I'd come home, and the cat would look at you and it'd have this attitude of, oh God, they're home. But dogs are not like that, and you're a dog owner and you know that. They just seem much more joyous to see you. You're back. Yeah, let's go do something. So I got to go with dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your dream vehicle?
I was actually looking at one last night. when I'm finished working, whenever that might be, Mary Ellen and my dream is to just travel, and I want to do it in a VW van. So I would say maybe up to a 1972 Volkswagen Westphalia van would be my dream vehicle.
Definitely
Boring,
a classic.
But yeah, classic, and one that it inspires a sense of feeling when you see them, and so I hope one day I'll have one of those.
Yeah, and freedom too.
And freedom, I think, at Northwood, something we deeply believe in, and as you know, and so vehicles and our presence in the automotive space is more than just the car, the truck, the vehicle itself. It's what they represent, and freedom is one of those
Absolutely.
things. Yeah.
What comes to mind when you think of your your grandson Benjamin?
Oh, great question. He's our first grandson. And you mentioned Matthew, Megan, and Patrick all having graduated or will be on our campus, that being Patrick. But Adam is the one who didn't come to Northwood, but he's actually been inspired by Northwood in that he owns a small private equity company, and he lives in Calgary, and he changed the name to Northwood Capital because he deeply believes in what we stand for, particularly as a young entrepreneur. So he had our first child, Benjamin. So the one word would be blessing. To see that next generation is really powerful. Having your own child have a child is a strange, wonderful feeling. And the good news is, as a grandparent, we get to do it right this time. We learned, and so we get to see Benjamin not nearly enough, but it's when we are together with Benjamin and Adam and Megan, his wife, it's a great moment.
There's nothing more important than family, truly.
No, nothing.
What's the most beautiful spot on Northwood's campus, in your opinion?
Well, earlier Justin talked about the mall walk. We have nearly 500 acres, as you know, Kristen, and I like wandering back on the Fisher Trails. It's peaceful, and you often see animals, lots of deer, as you know, birds. So I find that particularly just a way to calm and be rerouted in nature. But if I want to go for a little walk, it has to be on the mall walk, to see our art. Art on a campus, I think, is part of the intellectual vibrancy that universities bring. The beautiful renovations, the new spaces that we have. Founders Garden, where we can see and honor the people who have given to Northwood University.
Along with the Founders Flame.
Yeah. So all along the mall walk, you get a sense of the architecture from Alden B. Dow, the nature, the art, all of those things wrapped up together. I'd have to say the mall walk. Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned blessings, and Kent, you are a blessing to Northwood University. We're thankful for your leadership, and thank you for joining us today and helping our viewers get to know you better.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Come visit us. Our campus is open, and we are Midlands University. I would say we're the Great Lakes Bay Region's university, and we love when people spend time with us on campus. So thanks for having me.
Thanks again. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to welcoming you back to next month's installment of News from Northwood University, Midlands University.